If living off grid sounds like a dream, here's what it actually looks like. I'll show you how I power my cabin, collect water, cook, clean, and yep, even take care of business. It's the full tour. If you make it all the way to the end, I'll show you some music looping and a weird little dream of my own. Yay! Okay, we just arrived. Let's go have a look inside here. Everything is okay and intact and no bears living in here. Hey Bob, we're gonna make some music tonight, just you and me. There is no dog. There's no dog. Where the heck is the dog? She's on holidays. She's spending some time with her grandma, and she'll be back. She'll be back. So it's going to be a little bit quiet. It's always a little bit strange to be up here without the dog. Give you a little tour here, but basically I'm a weekend warrior. I will come up and spend, a couple weeks during the summer, sometimes some extended periods, longer than that. And everything is done off-grid, so solar power, marine cell battery, the old 12-volt system, I'll show you that. Power stations, new 12-volt lithium batteries. Everything is doable. It's so much easier to do this kind of thing now. So for many years I used a deep cell marine cell battery, and I still do actually. A little built-in hook right here. There we go. But this is old school, and I still use this as a backup system when I need to. So this is just a battery charger that I use to top up the marine cell battery with my generator when I need to. This is the inverter. This is just a cheap 1000 watt inverter. It is not a pure sine wave inverter, so you have to be careful with electronics if you're using inverters. And then this is a Nautilus deep cell battery. It is a big bad boy. It's now probably about 4 years old. That's powered up by these two panels here. So I've got a 100 watt panel here and then another 100 watt panel on the side here. So those are both charging up the marine cell battery all the time, so 200 watts. On this side here, this is a 150 watt panel. I finally got this hooked up permanently, so it's running inside the cabin and charges my power stations. I have two power stations. One I bought with my own hard-earned money, and it's the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. The other one that I use is an Allpowers R2500. Very, very, very similar power station, but it's cheaper, it's bigger, it's bulkier, it's louder. It does the trick, but it's a bit of a beast. This is the Allpowers right here. It is right now currently charging up my my fridge. Not charging up, but powering my fridge. And you can hear its fan noise. I'll be quiet here for a second. The camera may not be picking that up, but it's annoying. Just put it that way. I've been using it long enough to say that it is annoying. The other power station that I use, like I said, is the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. This is sort of a top tier brand, and very similar features to the Allpowers, except it's quiet. It's so much more portable, very slim profile, and I just love that. This is my baby. Let's talk refrigeration. I've got a three-way fridge. Ooh, sounds kinky, but it's not really. It's a three-way propane 12-volt and AC fridge. Essentially, it is a propane fridge. That's what you should be using it with, and that's where it's most energy efficient. I haven't used this with propane regularly for a number of years now. I've got the power stations, I've got a generator, but I am planning to pick up a different fridge that is much more energy efficient than this. Because when you're using this on 12 volt or AC, it takes so much power, and I don't understand why, but it takes more energy than like a full-size fridge that you would have at your, in your home kitchen. So it runs about 150 to 177 watts per hour. I mean, that's just stupid. So looking for a new energy efficient fridge. In the meantime, what I do with this is I run the generator for a couple hours a night and cool down the fridge. I switch sort of the ice blocks around from the freezer compartment to the fridge part, which I use way less energy. If you're interested, I mean, this is an excellent fridge. There is no question about it. It is the unique three-way propane, mostly propane fridge. I've used this for years up here. I really do like it, but I think it's time for not an upgrade, but a side grade. I don't drink water up here. I only drink Dr. Pepper, but when I have guests, kidding, when I have guests up here, basically what I do, so stupid. I'm pretty old school. I just bring up these 5-gallon water jugs. I generally fill them up at home. Sometimes I'll pay the $5 at the gas station to swap them out, just for convenience. But I also have this really nice water filter, gravity-fed water filter from Membrane Solutions. You can go and check out one of my videos. I have a full review on it. I think it's under my Essential Kitchen Gadgets video. Really like it. I'm not going to use this all the time, but basically as a backup, these things are amazing. For a couple $100, you can get these as a backup for your well, for off-grid properties, for extended periods of time off-grid. It's a monster. So I won't talk too much about that, other than if you're looking for a good quality, relatively inexpensive water filter, boop, boop, boop. That's your bad boy right there. All right, how does Clever Joe poop in the woods? Well, Clever Joe has an outhouse, and Clever Joe loves that outhouse. Clever Joe is not sure why he's talking in the third person. All right, here is the luxurious in-house. This is the Sunmar toilet. I got to get my room cleaned out here a little bit. I've got some solar panels that I just keep as in storage back here. But this is a Sunmar composting toilets, in quotes. I did a video, explaining why I think these, is a bit of a scam when they say these are composting. But I really like this. These things are not cheap. They're pricey. But if you want to have a nice throne to poop in when you're off grid, you're going to kind of have to ante up or get creative. Yes, you can poop in a bucket. No, I do not like pooping in a bucket. I use this in the winter time. In the summertime, I'm happy to use the outhouse, and it's at that shoulder season right now that I'm going to be closing this up and basically heading back outside. For showering, I have a hot water on demand unit from, who makes that? Unique? I don't think it's Unique. Eccotemp. It's funny, I always get EcoFlow and Eccotemp mixed up. It's a hot water on demand. It's just around the corner there. I don't have it set up yet because I take it in for the winter, but that gives me a way to have hot showers. And I use rainwater. I'll show you my rainwater system over here. I've got this big bad boy, this water tote, and then this rain barrel here, which just just collects water from the roof. I've got this leaf gutter protector here, keeps the debris out, and then a number of filters as it goes into the barrel. This is a water tote where I pump water up from the creek, and I just brought up my auto water timer, and we use that for the garden. So when I'm not up here, this has a timer, it's gravity fed, and it waters my garden automatically once or twice a day during the summer months. And yes, I'm a beekeeper. So I've been keeping bees for over a decade and a half now. These are just a couple of them right close to the cabin. I really just love looking out the window and watching what the ladies are doing. And when I'm watching these, it generally gives me a good idea about what's going on the far side of the yard. If I know these guys are hot and bothered, probably the rest of my bees across the yard are going to be hot and bothered. It is still cool. It's going down to probably 7 or 8 degrees overnight. So just emptying out the ash pan. Get things ready for tonight. Have a little fire in there, warm things up. I do use some of the ash for the outhouse. Pour a little bit, a couple handfuls down the hole every once in a while. And it's also good for gardening too. So I will save a little bit and toss it in the garden once we get that going. Probably next weekend. It's a long weekend, so get the rototiller out. Okay, just found a little bit of something in the outhouse here. This is a problem, not every spring, but a lot of springs. I've already moved one nest. I didn't see any eggs in it. Okay, could you guys see? Are there any eggs in there? See what's been going on in here. Isn't that a tick on your face? Isn't that a tick on your face? Isn't that a tick on your face? boy right there. I am hungry. Time for dinner. Show you how we do our cooking here in the off-grid kitchen. Pretty simple. There's no running water up here, so basically just collect water from the rain barrel or the creek in the winter time. And this is just for hand washing. Very simple. And most of the cooking is done, well, on three ways. The butane stove here, this is like an 18-year-old butane stove, still works fine. Of course, on the wood stove in the winter, it's just cool enough that I'm going to fire up the wood stove now, so we'll, I think we will cook on the wood stove tonight. And then, of course, on the barbecue. I've got both a gas barbecue and charcoal. I've basically only used the charcoal barbecue for the last few years just because I like it. It's convenient, it's easy, and I just like the taste of an actual real charcoal barbecue. Tonight's menu is salmon. You might notice here, what the hell is this? This is burr comb. So I harvest this from the hive. Burr comb is basically extra comb that the bees will make where I don't want them to make it. So when they do that, I scrape it out, and you can see how dark it is. So this is brood comb, comes out of their actual nest. So it's not very good for candle making or for wax products. So I harvest this and I use this as fire starter in both the wood stove and the for campfires. The twinkly lights that you see here, little sparkly twinkly lights, they all run off of the 12-volt battery. Same thing with these LEDs here, they run off the 12-volt. And when I'm watching my videos on the video projector, I also run that off the 12-volt marine battery. And speaking of the movie projector, this is the screen here. This is just a blind from a hardware store that you can pick up. Pretty cool, pretty convenient. But we're not going to be watching movies tonight, we're going to be playing music, making some music. Okay, let's play the Price is Right game here. How much is a tiny little piece of salmon that's only really about half a portion? How much is that selling for in your neck of the woods? Because here it's $3.99. If you're not putting a drop or a drizzle of unpasteurized natural raw honey on your potatoes, you're crazy. If you're wondering why I broke out the fancy plates for dinner, this is why. Dishes are done. That was an excellent dinner, very healthy, and now it's time to make some music. Ready to do a little bit of jamming here, a little recording loop session. Haven't done this in a little while, so good to be back at her. So everything is powered off of the EcoFlow, the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. This is a MIDI keyboard. We've got a second keyboard here. We're also powering up the laptop. This is an RC505, so this is the actual looper here. This is sort of the brains of what we're doing tonight. I've got a little guitar amp here. This thing is a beast. Don't let the size fool you. Size is not always everything. Got a good pair of headphones for monitoring. And this is a little mini play, nice little synth, portable. I've traveled to Jamaica with this. It's just, you can throw this in the back of your backpack. It's awesome. And then we're also going to see if we can have any fun with this little thing. This is a Korg monotron delay, and it's just kind of a fun little analog instrument. Let's make this happen. what a beautiful day. The sun is out. I got up late because I was up late making music, that's for sure. Another weekend unplugged in the woods, making music, making good meals, and just making peace with myself, I guess. Thanks for joining me. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe would be even better. But if you have a comment, you know, always interested in hearing what other people are doing at their off-grid properties. Okay guys, happy off-gridding. See you in the next one.